Thanks for staying with us. So there are lots of current untold economic hardship in Nigeria. Many parents are finding it extremely difficult to cater for their children's school fees and other academic obligations due to the increment in tuition fees, rising food inflation, incessant strike in the prices of consumables, as income and salary remain the same in recent years and a bid to generate revenue at all costs. Now, many are complaining and people are worried that the rising cost is making it difficult for them to even meet their academic obligations for their children. What are your thoughts on this?
Primary education globally, because it's seen as basic education.
Yes.
If you don't get it right at primary, you'll be churning out, your citizens will not be able to add value to your economy if they don't get that basic foundation. That, for me, in every serious economy, should be free.
Absolutely.
And it should be quality free. And in many serious economies, it is quality free. The challenge we have is, let's not use Lagos as a benchmark. Lagos, despite the fact none of us have our children in public schools, by the way, and majority of Lagosians don't have their children, let me not use majority of middle-class Lagosians don't have their children in the public schools at primary level because they feel it is not going to give us the quality to add the value we want our children, the quality of value we want our children to add in the future. So I totally understand the complaints. The government might say they are trying because they are looking at the books. But we need to, yes, look at the books, but look at the human beings as well. And when you look at the human beings, you realize that there's a lot of room for improvement at that basic level. Of course, as you go higher in terms of secondary school, it will be costing more. University education worldwide is cheap. It is expensive as compared to Nigeria. Even the private universities in Nigeria are still cheap as compared to international universities abroad. That's the truth. So on the university level, I don't think that our private universities are doing badly, but our public universities have been on strike for over 200 days. So obviously, it's nothing to write home about. Do we have an educational crisis? Yes. Do we have a financial educational crisis? Yes, because everybody is now struggling to make money by every means possible to give their children a bit of advantage. And that is putting a lot of strains on families.
As you are talking, my mind is just thinking we need to find creative ways to be able to afford education. And I guess this is where parents will come in. Also, financial institutions do this now, all sorts of insurance to help with parents as, you know, towards education. You're putting money aside. When you have a boom, you're able to put some money aside in projection of what, you know, could happen in future. Those are the ways I feel that parents can help. But the truth is, education will only keep getting more expensive, whether we like it or not. In another, I was talking to someone much younger than me. I was saying, by the time you start having children, the amount, you know, she was talking about a school bag I got. I said, by the time you start having children, this school bag will be 100 times the price. It's just the reality of life. And the only thing we have to do is keep working hard. And then this is where, whether we like it or not, this is where we now determine the sort of government and leaders that we want. They need to understand that these are the realities on ground and these are our issues. And what we want is, okay, create for us an enabling environment. We can take away security costs from schools if the government is able to do its job concerning protecting schools, making sure that insecurity is not a problem anymore. We're talking of minimum wage. We have to do better. We need to block all the holes where it comes to our revenue. We're talking about theft in the oil industry. Yeah. We cannot be losing that amount of money, I mean, as a government, and still going through insecurity and still going through all the other economic challenges. Plus that, our government needs to sit up. Our people now understand these are our challenges, and so it's only those who can make sure that these things are solved, you know, going forward, that can help.
Government has forgotten and neglected what is most important. So we constantly see the Naira losing value. We see the inflation going higher. We see, you know, families having to decide how costs should go. In those days, parents would just do a scale of preference and take out one thing and provide what is most important, what is priority, which is education for children. It has become a necessary expenditure. You cannot neglect it. And the cost of quality education has even become more necessary in our present times. So parents cannot now scale it and say, let's remove this, let's remove that. Which is why when you see NLC go on strike, sometimes because of the way they carry that issue and maybe water it down, you might not see the seriousness of what we're talking about. An average Nigerian banker here, what he earns and what's the present reality of the value of what he earns, his purchasing power is so low compared to somebody doing the same job in some other climes. And so you see why they're asking government, you need to do more. Nobody hates government. We just want to be able to afford basic. So if I earn 200,000 and the value of 200,000 can give me my basic, who will be on strike? The lecturers presently are saying, federal government is proposing a 23% increase, which will put them at 800,000. They're saying, back. Because the reality is that as a lecturer, maybe by the time you get to professorship, your first child is already in university. If you put the value of quality university education, which is not here, on that money, you can afford it, except you are cutting corners.